Hey everyone, it's Kiernan Shipka, and today I'm going to be doing my everyday skincare routine and makeup look. So my first step is usually just sort of wiping my face with some water. I normally don't use a cleanser in the morning. My next step is Lotion P50 from Biologique Recherche. There's a few products I swear by, and this is one that I truly think is just fantastic. I do a few drops in my hand. Sometimes I'm feeling crazy and I put it on my arms a little bit too because it's exfoliating, resurfacing, and I've got keratosis pilaris, KP thing on my arms, and I'll do anything to mitigate that. I have always had a skincare routine, or at least at a certain point, I started paying attention to what I was putting on my skin, but I've struggled with my skin before. I've had multiple bouts of cystic acne and bad, annoying stuff like that. And that sort of started to happen when I was a teen, and I think that's what made me a little more focused on my skincare routine. The interesting thing about Mad Men was that it was so realistic that I never even sat in a makeup chair until maybe the last season, once or twice. But I really kind of got by for 10 years of a shoot without ever having my skin touched by makeup or having it affected by makeup, which was amazing. My skin was always great. And then immediately after, I started doing movies and other projects, and obviously wearing a full face of makeup, and my skin just freaked out. And I think that's what sort of made me realize, oh, got it. This is showbiz, baby. I must start taking care of my skin and focusing on it because this is the new normal. My next step is serums. I love two serums from Biologique Recherche. This one is the Iso Placenta serum, and this one's the Extrait Tissularis. I just do a little bit of both. I think it makes me feel extra to be putting serum on my face. The thing about Biologique is that they're all very active ingredients, and it does smell a bit. I sort of love the smell now, and I've seen these products work on my skin, so then I think I start to associate the smell with my skin thriving. Maintaining wellness is always a moving target for me, depending on if I'm working, if I have extra time to take care of myself. I kind of find myself returning to the very basics of walking. I am a big fan of vitamin D, sitting in the sun as long as I've got sunscreen on. I think that just 15 minutes a day of being outdoors in the sun it does wonders for me. I have been known to jump on my little mini trampolines from time to time just to blow off some steam. So the next step that I do is I moisturize, and moisturizer is my favorite part of the skincare routine. I would feel incomplete without it, and I use this Environ moisturizer and gel. I combine a little bit of both, and then in the daytime, in the morning when the sun is out, I also mix in a little bit of sunscreen. This is the sunscreen I use, non-tinted, and it sort of goes on smoothly and nicely, and I kind of just mix them together so they're like one blob of moisture and sun protection. I feel like growing up, I rarely got sunburned. I was always pretty decent about using sunscreen and being responsible to an extent with that. If I'm going in the sun, I think I have a pretty good little thing in my head telling me, okay, it's time for SPF. I like a last step to a skincare routine. I like something to sort of feel like a completion of sorts. Right now I'm using this Silk Plus from Biologique. I just put a few pumps in my hand. That's my last thing that I do for my face before I put on makeup. I don't feel like finding balance is an end goal. I don't feel like it's something that you just find and run with. I think it's always changing because one's life is always changing. And when I started doing Sabrina, much more was being demanded from me on a daily basis. So I sort of just started using every survival mechanism that made sense to me. And for a while it works and you keep going, but there were a couple moments where I would just feel completely burnt out and had to sort of take a good hard look at what I was doing outside of work in the few hours that I had outside of work and readjust. But I think that compromises are a good thing. And if you're doing a job you love and you have to make compromises in your wellness routine, I think that's completely and totally fine. Okay, let's get into makeup now. My first step for makeup is usually a base of some sort, and I've got a beauty blender in hand as well. Just put a little bit on my hand. I've never used palettes ever. I put everything on my hand. So next up, I do foundation. I love Kogendo. I love all their products. So again, just going right there. I start really minimal and then I build if I feel like I need more foundation. I usually find that when I'm getting my makeup done for an event or for a shoot, I kind of just peep the products that the makeup artist is using. And if I see something new that I like, I'll just cop it and I'll buy it from whatever site I can find. Next up is concealer. Right now I'm using a Chanel concealer that I've been liking and going with. I get it all dotted. Got these little sort of marks over here that don't tend to budge. Well, my makeup is always much more basic than any character makeup that I ever do, I think, because I just like to go about my day, whereas, you know, someone like Sabrina is going about her day also saving the world, so maybe she wants a little bit more of a lip while she's doing it. But for me, I kind of just like, you know, I like to keep things simple on a daily basis. When I went up to Vancouver recently to do the Riverdale Sabrina crossover, I was just absolutely in awe of Madeleine Pesch and her skin and how beautiful she is, and her makeup on the show is just so iconic. I was heavily inspired by her work ethic and her overall energy, but also just the way that she turns a look, especially when it's like 5 a.m. It's amazing. I always knew that people were gonna get excited over a crossover, but you can't quite ready yourself for the enthusiasm of Sabrina fans and Riverdale fans. I'm amazed every single time reading people's tweets and posts about how excited they were to see Sabrina go into Riverdale. It made my heart very warm and very happy. I use a brow gel. I'm using Chantecaille brow gel right now, and I brush them up. I'm always an up brusher. By the time that my brows had reached like full capacity, most people around me were saying, don't touch them, don't touch them. So I feel grateful for that. After I do a gel, usually I just take a spoolie and sort of just graze over them yet again, because I don't want them to feel too jelly. I kind of just shape them a little bit this way because I brushed them up with the gel. So then I kind of brush the edges down with this and get the desired shape. This is a Guide Beauty mascara. What I do with mascara is, you know, look up, mouth open, that whole thing. And I go pretty light, especially first round, and I kind of make sure to get in the corners. I put the mascara on, and then I take the spoolie again. I just kind of graze over the mascara to get out any clumps. A Dior powder blush. There's something about like a classic blush brush and powder blush that really makes me feel just like I'm doing what I should. I start light and I kind of build, but I think blush is not talked about enough. It's just such an essential. It's lip time. Timeless Pencil by Nude Envy. Any sort of liner that's of this color, I like sort of a nude to rosy color when it comes to liners. I definitely overline my top lip a little bit, just to kind of give my lips a full shape to them. I would wear this look on a date. I think I might amp it up maybe a little bit in the eye realm if it was a nighttime date. I have to say, I kind of want to present as myself if I'm going on a date. There was a point in my youth where I would be asked on a date that I didn't necessarily want to be a date, but didn't also want to not, at least experience the person to some extent and scope it out. So I would bring a friend, and that friend was usually Timothée Chalamet, which is funny, but I did what I had to do. And we had some great 3-person lunches. We're gonna do this lip tint from Victoria Beckham called Bitten Lip Tint that I am just a fan of. I'm not a big lipstick person. They often feel too matte. I like something that's a little bit more of a stain. Really am a big fan of this one. And again, kind of going in light and moving it around, it just gives this nice little berry tint. Occasionally, if I'm just feeling reckless, and I'm sort of messing around with my lips at the end, I just do that. You just put a little bit of your lip on your cheek. So my last step before going out is a fragrance. I am a Miss Dior girl. I sort of just do it. I'm not particular about where it lands. Thank you so much for sticking with me. I had so much fun, and I will see you when I see you. All right, thanks guys, bye.